To my mother. Dear Mom, I tried to call you today, but you are out training for a half marathon and doing other amazing things that make me feel guilty for how little I do with my own time. So as a way of making myself feel better, I think I'll tell some people you don't know some interesting stories about your life, as my way of wishing you a happy Mother's Day. Thank you for teaching me some life lessons. My favorite is, when it's gone, it's gone. As in, Mom, can I have some ice cream? When it's gone, it's gone. You'd say this phrase as if it were a dire warning, as if having ice cream or not having ice cream was a matter of life and death. Maybe I won't have ice cream. So thank you for teaching me the power of guilt at a very young age. But some of your lessons were much more wise, wisdom that must have been passed down from generation to generation. Here's one I follow to this day. Whenever I wouldn't feel very good in my stomach, she'd say, "Eat some cheese, it'll bind you." Which works, incidentally, when you've eaten too much ice cream. Yes, my mom is full of wisdom, and I love her. But let me tell you about some things that she does that aren't so wise. Now, one of the things that's interesting about growing up is that you start to hear stories about your childhood that until recently had been carefully guarded family secrets. And I'm not very good with secrets. I just found out that on the first day of my birth, my mom got me drunk. It's a true story. Before anyone calls child services, let me explain. My mom and dad are both teachers in Ontario, but they started teaching up in the Arctic, in a very small frozen town called Hall Beach. My mother became pregnant with me, and I thank her for that. And Dad too, but it's Mother's Day, so let's keep it on track here. So my mom was pregnant, which she says she was happy about. But being pregnant and due in the dead of winter in a town with no hospital or a doctor posed a bit of a problem. So as was the case in that small town, Mom flew down to the booming metropolis of Churchill, Manitoba, the place that thrives on its industry of guided tours of polar bears. If you think it's a tourist spot now, I guess you should have seen it in 1980. Mom flew in and waited for me to be born. She waited for a week in a town where she knew no one. Did you notice I said that my mom flew in? Dad, in one of his less intelligent decisions in his life, decided that he had to take his students to Toronto on a school trip during this time. You better believe this is a topic of discussion that doesn't get brought up very often at family get-togethers. Fortunately, for the kindness of strangers, Mom found a place to stay with a very friendly couple who offered her a couch to sleep on in their small one-bedroom home. And there she waited for me to be born. On the big day, Mom went to the hospital and I came into the world. An hour later, Mom was told that they needed the bed because someone had a bad accident, so she had to leave. So Mom bundled me up and took me to this kind couple's home. A new mother with an absent better half, living in a stranger's home in the frigid winter in the Arctic, in a strange town with polar bears. Mom drank a bottle of wine that night with her new friends, and then proceeded to nurse me. I slept in a sock drawer that first night of my life. Mom said I slept very, very soundly. Oh, she doesn't sound very good, does she? Mom took to Arctic living with great enthusiasm, and she took me along with her. Up north, they have these parkas called the mountains, where they have a large hood, and the Inuit women used to carry their children in them. Mom thought this was a great idea, and she had one made, and apparently I loved it. Except for the time I was sound asleep, nestled in her Inuit hooded parka, and Mom decided to get some caribou meat out of the deep freeze. She returned with the meat to the table, and My grandma was visiting at the time, and she said, "Wow, baby Jamie's sleeping so soundly. Let me have a look at him." "Where's baby Jamie?" I got out. Or how about the time my mom thought it'd be a good idea for me to hold down the throttle on her snowmobile machine while she stood on the ground and yanked on the pull start. I think I was 6. I remember Mom chasing after me, swearing, telling me to let go of the throttle. I didn't know what a throttle was. I hit the dumpster. Stopped. And my mom was also notorious up north in the Arctic for sending my sister and me, my dad, outside during a nice brisk Arctic blizzard snowstorm to play when we were acting up, which was a lot better than the alternative form of punishment. I don't know if there's any of you out there that used to be threatened by a wooden spoon. Maybe it was just me, I don't know. The wooden spoon was my mom's own personal weapon of mass destruction. You knew she was really mad when she threatened to break it out. "If you kids don't shut up, I'm gonna get the wooden spoon." Oval-shaped welts on your bottom were the worst when you had to sit in class all day. You'd be shifting position in your chair and all the other kids would think you'd have to go to the bathroom. I hated that spoon. Not that I didn't deserve every single welt I ever got, but I hated that thing. And then one day, I was hit by a flash of genius. We are a dog family. Well, I should say my dad, myself, and my sister are dog people. My mom, not so much. One day I was thinking about that wooden spoon and how much I hated it. And I was thinking about our dog, Molson. He was a golden lab. And how much he loved peanut butter, but hated how it stuck to the roof of his mouth when we used to shove bread up there and he'd be licking and smacking at it for hours. And I put together all these things that my mom hated and I hated and my dog loved, and an idea of epic proportions came to mind. I was never very good at math, but on that day I was Einstein. Peanut butter plus wooden spoon plus our dog Molson equaled no more getting whacked. You know those times when you think you have a good idea and you carry it out well and things still go wrong? When my mom came across the dog gnawing on the last remnants of her favorite wooden spoon, she was not as impressed by my genius as I thought she would be. But then, I also thought that I was so intelligent that even if she did get mad, there was no more wooden spoon for her to get mad at me with. She looked at me and said, "What did you do with the wooden spoon?" And I looked right up at her, and with a really silly smirk on my face, I uttered the fateful words, "Well, Mom, when it's gone, it's gone." And then Mom taught me another lesson. Make do with what you have. Have you ever been spanked with a wire brush used for combing thick dog hair? I don't want you to get the idea that my mom was trying to kill me all the time. She really is a nice lady and a wonderful woman. And if she was here right now, she'd be laughing along with everybody else. I think. But she's far away, and so is her wooden spoon. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.